Hello everybody, greetings, welcome to the channel. Today I am reacting to a very important speech given by a mother. When a mother speaks, then the nation should listen, because the mothers are birthing nations. The mothers are birthing leaders. The mothers carry the culture.
It was all by design. Then the colonizers, who never left our Africa, they continue to control the economies of all African countries to this day. And until the African has control of our own economies, nothing we want to do is going to give us the Africa that we need, the sustainable Africa that we want. We're suffering from the disease of the legacy of slavery and the legacy of colonization. We are in the intensive care, my brothers and sisters.
And she is speaking of a very sensitive topic, a very important topic, which the people of the African continent and the world, those with a caring heart, those with a sensitive nature, should take into consideration.
The question I have for you is, are you happy with the status of black people today on earth? Are you happy with the world the way it is today? Are you happy living this world the way it is for your children, grandchildren, and generations to come? I hope. The answer is no. 20 years from now, your children and grandchildren are going to ask you, grandfather, grandmother, there were issues with our beloved continent, Africa. There were problems with the race, our race, as black people. What did you do, grandmother? What did you do, grandpa? For you to be able to answer that question, that journey begins now. My hope is 20 years from now, you can say, granddaughter, grandson, sit down. These were the issues in our beloved Africa. These were the issues with black people. Together with my brothers and sisters, we came together. We pulled our financial resources together. And this is what we did. While the mission is not yet accomplished, this is where we left off. And this is where you, together with your brothers and sisters, need to come together and pick up where we left off. But we should also guarantee them two things. One, they will always have our shoulders to stand on. And secondly, we will always have their back. The journey to be able to answer that question to our children and grandchildren begins today. It is important that we speak with one voice. The rule of divide and conquer has been winning among us for far too long. The issue of a divided Africa, the issue of a divided people of African descent around the globe is an issue that we and only we can address and take care of. My brothers and sisters, you should own this. If we don't come together and speak with one voice, if we don't come together and realistically look at the issues that are causing this African tree to ail, we have no one to blame but ourselves.
So two aspects I want to touch on is that there is an obvious platform of unity, which is the superficial, the external, what we can see with our eyes. There is a platform of unity based on racial lines, based on geographical considerations. So at this level, Africa is a continent. You can see it on the map. And then Africans are also known by their race, their skin color. This can be leveraged for unity to achieve goals of different natures which will benefit those of this heritage. Number two is a deeper and more stronger platform of unity. That is the spiritual unity. As living beings, all of us are spiritual in nature. We are anti-material. We are what is called consciousness. Consciousness is the platform of awareness. I am aware of the pains and pleasures of my body, just as you are aware of the pains and pleasures of your body. Consciousness is therefore the platform upon which all living symptoms are coming from. Without consciousness, then the body is dead. And this body is what we can see obviously in front of us, and it is the secondary platform of unity. To heal the problems that are being outlined by our mother, there is a need for us who have not grown deeper roots to understand consciousness, to recognize the platform of unity on the platform of being of one continent, of one race. This is an unselfish thing to consider, because if we want something good to be there for the children, for those who will come after us, someone has to work now. Just as the parents may have built a house, or the parents may have inherited a house from their parents, and then we, the children of our parents, are also benefiting from that house. It is not a point of division, it is a point of intelligence. That for those who will come after us, what platform are we building for them? What avenues are we setting up for them? If we want to go deeper, then we can see a human race that is a unity on the level of the species. If we go deeper still, we can see a unity of all living beings. And that unity owes its origin to a supreme father, a supreme mother, the supreme personality of Godhead. In Africa, or a world without clear God consciousness, without clear education of what is the source of all the resources that we are currently fighting about. What is the source of all the resources that divisions have been sown amongst people, amongst nations, amongst tribes, amongst family come from? Then we come to the authentic platform of being children of God. And being children of God, we owe a truth, an authenticity of living where we do not exploit the resources for selfish gains, but we live in a way where we prepare the resources for the equal consumption of all. There is a verse of the Upanishad which says, Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagatena tyaktena bundita magrida kashya swidanam. The Upanishad is an ancient text. Isha means the controller, the supreme controller. Upanishad means that which brings closer. So knowledge which brings us closer to the root of all existence is the deepest platform of unity. And it is what the human being is meant to understand in the human form of life. So I speak from these two platforms. We have a body, it has a race, it has a geographical location, and there are problems in Africa, there are problems in the world, and these problems can begin to be solved when we look at what will we do for the coming generations within our families, within our nations, within our races. Second, if we look at the level of being the soul, the consciousness, then we are able to see that the entire human family is our own family, under the fatherhood and motherhood of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the source of all energies. Now, the question is, are we going to live selfishly, simply trying to exploit the resources for our tiny, selfish gains, or just me and mine, my own family, me and my neighborhood? Or are we going to grow from that position which most of us find ourselves in, where we are thinking me, mine, and start to see the whole totality of living beings, which includes the animals, which includes the trees, the fish in the ocean, the birds in the sky. That is a broadened sense of consciousness. And this is what the Vedic wisdom, these Vedas are not belonging to India. They are belonging to all living beings. All discerning persons should make solutions for the ultimate good of everyone by using the Vedic knowledge. I have been involved with this Vedic knowledge since 2002. Why I got involved with it? Because I looked around and I saw that the continent and the world is going in the wrong direction due to greed, due to strategies that have been set in motion by a few to control the majority. Our mother in this video speaks of the colonial agenda. How sick, how based on greed and selfishness is such an agenda, where certain nations, and not just the majority of the people in those nations, but a few men and women, set aside time to plot. We come back to Africa, 4 months in Berlin, plotting how to divide up a continent which already had persons living there who have aspirations for living a decent life, how to carve it up, how to exploit its resources, and how to colonize the people, subdue them, and have them work for the interests of such nations. A very evil project. And that has to be called out as it is. But we have to call upon all the people who recognize this as something which was completely wrong to be part of the solution. We are always divided on so many lines. These days, it's, gender politics are there, racial politics are there, financial, educational, so many divisions. But if we look at the deeper wisdom, as I was pointing out from the Vedas, and from that Ishopanishad verse, which now I'll give the meaning, is that everything animate and inanimate that is within this universe is controlled and owned by the Supreme Lord. That means we should understand what is it that we are looking at in this world. To whom does it belong? Who am I? And to whom am I connected to? To whom do I belong? Who has given these eyes with their intricate design that are able to use the light of the sun to see color in the world and to see images that are reflected at the back of my mind, and I'm able to see this is a hole, this is a tree, this is a poisonous plant. All this is what the human being is created to understand. Who am I? Where am I? To whom does everything belong? And how should I utilize my time and energy and the resources of this world for whose ultimate satisfaction and approval? And that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is uNkulunkulu, uThixo, Mungu, Krishna, Jah, Allah, Mudimu, Chikwembu, Elohim. So many names across the planet discussing the supreme source of all energies. Without this God consciousness, we are doomed. Whatever project it may be, whether it's a project to restore Africa, to restore family relations, to deal with mental health, to deal with the fourth industrial revolution, to deal with marital issues, whatever it may be, it is only giving temporal and incomplete solutions. If we want to solve the whole problem, we have to understand our origin and our relationship with God and start to live in the light of that relationship with the Supreme Person. Her words are very important. Whoever you may be, try to take them in that spirit of a mother who is trying to wake up the children and inspire them to come together to create a better future for themselves and their children and those souls that will come in the future. My tiny addition is that the dimension of the soul, the dimension of the unity in relation to God, is very crucial for any community to have any type of success that is long-lasting and that is including the most number of persons. The more we're coming to selfishness and to the division lines, the more the outcomes are only benefiting a few, and that few will never be satisfied because we are all part and parcel of one family. Until we are able to see that, let us take shelter of the secondary platform of unity, especially in Africa. We are all seen as Africans, as black people, no matter where you go. So think about what you are doing for this continent. Second, go deeper. We are all living beings. We are the soul. And we should see everyone as part of our family, and we should work for the greatest good of all. Hare Krishna.